What's going on, guys? Another in my Trusted Company series. So, a lot of y'all know by now that I'm a really big fan of Palmetto State Armory. I mention their stuff a lot. I use it a lot. But they're one of those companies that I felt like I should go into a little bit more detail on some things as to why I liked them, that sort of thing. So, just to start out, I've been using Palmetto State Armory stuff since 2012. If I remember correctly, the company actually got started somewhere around 2008-ish, somewhere in that time frame. Don't quote me on that. My memory's failing at the moment. But I know I first got exposed to them in like 2012. Currently, between myself and my cousin, he's my cousin, but he's really more like a brother in a lot of ways. Between him and my immediate close circle of friends, we have, I think at last count, 12 Palmetto State Armory uppers, complete guns, to include their lower parts kits, etc. So, that's a few. It's still a small overall sampling, I admit. But I think for us, it gives a pretty good indication of how they are, what their products are like, etc. So let me start by saying this about them. Anytime you have something that's mechanical and man-made, I don't care who it is, how great they are, how awesome they are, it's subject to failure. It's subject to problems. It's subject to issues. Murphy's Law dictates it, okay? I don't look for a perfect company that, in this particular situation we're talking about, rifles, AR-15s. I don't look for a company that never has a bad barrel come out, that never has a bad bolt, that never has a bad upper, that never has a bad gun. What I look for is, first off, does it happen a lot? I mean, like, are you just constantly seeing major problems? And number two, if there is an occasional problem, how does the company handle it? I'm more worried about, okay, if I do have a problem, is the company going to take care of it and stand behind it and make it right? So, in my personal experience, my immediate family and close circle of friends, we don't have a single negative issue with Palmetto State Armory. I have had one or two cases where I got a couple of small parts that had problems. However, it was the exception rather than the rule. I contacted Palmetto State Armory and it was solved. I had a new part on the way and it was perfect and life was great. Easy, simple, no problem. So, give you a couple of examples, right? You guys should by now all be familiar with my beloved AR pistol build that I did. Palmetto State Armory upper and lower parts kit. This little gun has been absolutely phenomenal for me. It has more than capable accuracy for me. It's been 100% reliable. What else do you want? You want the gun to go bang every time you pull the trigger, and you want it to hit pretty close to where you're aiming at. This has done it every time. This gun is probably my second lowest round count of all my guns that I've got, just because it's still a newer build and I haven't gotten as many rounds to it as I do my others. This one. This is a Palmetto State Armory upper that I got back in 2012, right? This one is one of their chrome line ones, and one of my pistol is one of their nitrided ones. Quick note on this particular one. I've got two of these exact same uppers on my primary go-to gun and my number one off-site backup gun. I've got them set up almost identical, with the exception of this one has the awesome Primary Arms 3X prism sight on it, and the other one's just got an aim point. Same barrel, upper, etc. on them. And what's cool about this particular one is, and I don't know if Palmetto Armory still offers this or not. I'm going to have to go look. If they don't, if by chance they happen to see this, I really wish they'd bring this particular barrel option back. This is one of their chrome line barrels from back in 2012, one of the very first ones I ever got from them. The profile of the barrel, though, it's not a lightweight pencil profile, but it's not a government profile either. It's kind of an in-between hybrid combination of the two. It's kind of a mid-weight profile, all right? So it gives you a little bit of weight reduction, but a little bit heavier barrel than a pencil barrel. I absolutely love this particular barrel option for a general purpose, defensive gun. This gun has a lot of rounds through it. A lot. I have used this in many, many training classes. I have used it just in my own practice and training. It's got some miles on it, and to date, it is still 100% reliable. It has had a couple of malfunctions, but every malfunction that I've had has been ammunition related and not gun related. So, that said, there's two right there. I trust these guys enough that the build that I just did for my oldest son, it's a Palmetto State Armory M4 profile upper. Palmetto State Armory lower parts kits. That's my son that I put that gun together for it to be his defensive weapon now. So I'm banking my son's life, should he ever have to use that gun, that it's going to work. So far it has, and I don't have any reason to believe that it wouldn't. The poor man's DMR build. Palmetto State Armory nitrided barrel upper. Are you seeing a trend here, what I'm saying, guys? So, excuse me, why Palmetto State Armory? Why do I think they're such a good choice for the armed prepared citizen? Well, first, take into consideration what we're talking about here on my channel, the armed prepared citizen. This is about you being armed and prepared for the defense and protection of your life, your loved one's life, your friends' lives, whatever the case may need be that you need to protect. There's a lot of good AR options out there that fit the bill that you could bank on. I don't have a problem with any of those. And I apologize for the swatting, but the mosquitoes are out in force in the swamp. I digress. You can spend, the sky's the limit with what you could possibly spend right now on an AR. The options are as endless as I have ever seen them in my lifetime. There was a point in time where some of you younger guys won't even be familiar with this time frame, but the only three real decent options in an AR was Colt, Armalite, and Bushmaster. That was it. That was your choices, and you were fairly limited within those choices. Now, there's just a plethora of good options. So in that wide, large market, why is Palmetto State Armory my current number one go-to? Now, I also need to caveat too, I have owned some of the higher end, more expensive ARs in the past, including some of the current big boys. They are excellent, great weapons. I'm not saying anything negative about them, okay? They are great. If that's what you want, that's what you like, that's what your budget affords, knock yourself out. You're not going to go wrong. what I want to try to get across to you guys is you don't have to break the bank to get a reliable, serviceable weapon, especially if you are like most armed prepared citizens like me. You got a house payment, you've got kids, you got a grocery bill, light bill, etc., etc. You're working to make ends meet. You still want to be able to protect yourself and your family, but you just can't shell out thousands and thousands of dollars. Maybe you got a pretty limited budget. Well, that's where, to me, Palmetto State Armory comes in and why I like them. And before I get in that, the second example I wanted to mention, I almost overlooked, was maybe you're already set, but maybe you are now in a position where you want to get a couple of backups. 2 is 1, 1 is none. Maybe you want to have a couple of redundant backup rifles to have on hand as spares, but don't want to break the bank. Okay, you get the idea of what I'm saying. Palmetto State Armory is putting out, in my opinion, one of the best products for the money that perfectly fits the average armed prepared citizen, the average guy that lives in the real world, okay, who is trying to make ends meet, who wants to be able to train and practice but doesn't have an unlimited budget, who's not looking for something just to try to show off to your friends at the range. You're not looking for, sorry guys, you're not looking for just a showpiece. You're not trying to look to run with the cool kids. You just want a serviceable, reliable weapon. That's where Palmetto State Armory fits that bill. You can get a good, solid AR-15 from Palmetto State Armory right now, easily for $600. If you watch their sales and play your cards right, you can get one for $500. If you're really thrifty and are smart, you could get one of their rifle kits. It's got a complete upper and a complete lower parts kit in it, and then get one of their lowers when they're on sale, or get somebody else's strip lower when it's on sale. And I've actually done the math in a couple of different scenarios where you could actually build a functionable, serviceable AR-15 for around $450. That's just unheard of in my day. Now, here's the caveat. They do still put out some chrome line barrels, but a lot of what they're putting out is the nitrided barrels. You can go do your research on that, on the difference between the chrome line and the nitride. I was a long time go chrome or go home user. That's all I would use. After having used this nitrided barrel in my pistol, after my cousin and a couple of close friends getting some nitrided barrels and us running them, reading up on them, for the armed prepared citizen, I'm sold on them. If you're going to run a drop-in auto sear or a registered full auto lower, there's an argument to be made there to go with chrome line. For a semi-automatic only gun, you're not going to be able to overwork that nitrided barrel in a real life situation. It's just not going to happen. So don't let that worry you or fool you, right? In addition to a lot of different AR options, let's say you're an AK guy. I love AKs too, right? I used to have some. I got back away from the AK simply for personal reasons of logistics, and just the AR-15 is what I've grown up on since before I was even big enough to actually hold one up by myself. I have got so much time on one, they're second nature to me, and I didn't feel like I had the time or the money to get myself up to that same natural level with an AK that I do in an AR. So, and I only say that just for the caveat of AKs are still great weapons. I love them. If I was independently wealthy, I would have a safe full. If you are just getting into survival and preparedness, the armed prepared citizen idea, and you're just getting started, Palmetto State Armory is where I'd recommend you look. If you want to start out on an AR-15, you can get an AR-15. If you want to start out on an AK, Palmetto State Armory's got their own line of AKs. Now, a lot of guys some of the purists will decry them. But let me point you to these two things. Rob over at the AK-47-74 Operators Union did one of his 5,000 round torture tests on a Palmetto State Armory AK, and it survived. It did what it was supposed to do and come out just fine. On that same note, one of Palmetto State Armory's Freedom barreled uppers, and I think it was a complete gun, but it was their nitrided barrel. Rob did the exact same 5,000 round test that he does on all the AKs on that AR-15. And if my memory serves me correct, I try to stay up on his videos because I love his stuff. To date, that Palmetto State Armory budget line, quote unquote, AR is the only AR-15 to completely survive his 5,000 round torture tests. I'm no detective, but in some places they would call that a clue. Let's go even a step further. Let's say you're an AR guy like me, but you want to have the capability to use maybe 7.62 AK mags and ammo, but you are hardwired on the manipulation and operation of AR-15, safety manipulation, charge and handle manipulation, just overall ergonomics, etc. Palmetto State Armory has their own line of AR-15s that take 7.62 AK mags. You can have the best of both worlds. I mean, there it is. So my point in saying all this is there's options there you can do. You've got choices. It's budget friendly. You can go buy a $1,200 AR-15 and have an absolute, freaking Ferrari. You can also go and buy a $600 Palmetto State Armory AR-15 and then have $600 left over for mags, ammo, training classes, and some training classes. Maybe that Palmetto State Armory gun is only going to shoot 3 MOA. Maybe that Ferrari is going to shoot 2 MOA. Is that important? Depends on what you're doing with it. For the armed prepared citizen, quite honestly, if that sucker's minute a man at 100 yards, I'm good with it. That's my purpose and goal out of the gun. 3 MOA out of an AR, if I can see it at 300 yards, I can hit it. That's what I want. Okay, that fits my desires and my purposes. If you want something different, get what you want to fit your purposes. Armed prepared citizens, look no further than Palmetto State Armory. They're an American-owned, American-made company. You guys know I like small business. I have no problem buying Chinese-made, overseas-made stuff, right? As long as it's good quality. I don't have a problem with that. Some guys say they don't like to support the overseas stuff, but me, I got no problem using it against them if they ever decide they want to set foot over here and do something squirrely a la Red Dawn. I'm showing my age, but hey, grew up in the 80s, what can I say? It's a great movie. I digress. I'm kidding, guys. But seriously, I really like supporting American companies when I can. Palmetto State Armory fits exactly what I'm trying to put out here on the channel. Most of you may know that I own UW Gear, and I make my own line of chest rigs and nylon gear. Palmetto State Armory fits exactly the same mold that I'm doing with my chest rigs. I'm trying to make a quality, usable chest rig that you can have at a price you can afford that's going to get the job done. It's not going to be the fanciest. It's not going to be the, GWOW bells and whistles, high speed, low drag, cool guy stuff. But it's going to be functional. It's going to work. Everybody that you hear me trying to support on here, I'm supporting for those same reasons. here's my final thought on Palmetto State Armory. And this has to do with the current climate and stuff that's going on. As you guys have probably all no doubtably seen in the gun community, for lack of a better phrase, in just the past few weeks and couple of months, there have been companies inside the gun community that have come out and has shown their true colors of where they really stand on the Second Amendment and on the right to keep and bear arms, our right to self-defense, etc. I'm an absolutist on that. I'm a constitutional, it's in black and white, there it is. Moses could have had it on the back of the Ten Commandments when he come down with them. I will not support companies that will infringe upon that without me knowing about it. Right after a number of companies come out, the owner of Palmetto State Armory came out publicly and issued not only a written statement, but a video that come out on social media explaining Palmetto State Armory's stance regarding firearm ownership by the armed prepared citizen, the Second Amendment, etc. And he made no bones about it. They are an absolute staunch, no compromise Second Amendment supporter. That sealed the deal for me if it wasn't already sealed. That's where I'm going to put my money at. Partly because of their position, but also partly because they weren't afraid to come out and publicly state that position. They weren't scared of the backlash. They weren't scared of anybody saying anything. They come out, here's what we believe, here's where we stand, boom, put it down. I'm all over that. I'm all over that. In today's climate, I'm going to support everybody I can with that. So now that you've listened to this freaking half-hour infomercial, which I apologize if it sounds like that. That's not my intent for it to sound like. You guys just know I'm really enthusiastic about supporting the companies that I like and that I support because of how strongly I believe in what we talk about here. I strongly believe you've got to be prepared. You've got to live that armed prepared citizen lifestyle. You do it to the best of your ability, and then you pray that everything we talk about and all the tools that we acquire, you pray you never need them and you never use them. That's just as simple as it gets, guys. That's the bare bones right there as it is. So I'm sure there was something I wanted to say and I missed it in all my rambling. I hope it didn't wander all over the map too much for you, but look at Palmetto State Armory. If you're looking for another AR, AK, parts, if you're just getting started as an armed prepared citizen, if you're an experienced guy and you've read or seen stuff on the internet, I've already told you guys before, be very careful what you see and read on the internet. Take things with a grain of salt. Things aren't always what they appear when people have agendas. I'm not going to get off on another rant because we'll be here another 45 minutes. And as you can see where I'm sitting at, I am missing one of my own prerequisites for these videos, and I do not have my cup of coffee. I'm starting to get the hangries for some coffee. So, the bloodsuckers have sucked enough blood out of me. I'm going to go try to get that replenished with some coffee IV. Or maybe I'll just drink it because I don't like needles. Anyway, Palmetto State Armory. On my recommended list. Check them out. We're believers. I've got a couple more Palmetto State Armory builds I want to do for some ideas that I've got for you guys and for us, as armed prepared citizens. I've just got to do two things. Number one, I've got to come up with the money. Number two, I got to come up with the money when they've got the stuff in stock, because their stuff's pretty freaking popular and they sell out all the time. So I got to hit that timing right of it's in stock and I've got the money. If I can do that and get a couple of builds done for you, there's some things I'd like to show you guys, maybe give you some ideas that my inner circle and I have been talking about. And Palmetto State Armory's got the stuff to fit the bill. So, all right, I'm shutting up. Take care, guys. Stay safe. Check them out. And we'll see you in the next one.